Right, hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm back with another match preview. This time is Stoke City versus Swansea City in the Sky Bet Championship this Saturday, 12:30 p.m. kickoff away at the Bet365 Stadium. Um, yeah, it's another tough game for us. Obviously, we're off the back of back-to-back home wins, which we needed to get 6 points, and we came out and managed to do that. So, delighted with that. They are two games that you look at, and we definitely should win those games. But it was vital that we did because as I said, we've got tough games coming up. Stoke being one of them. So if we hadn't have got 6 points, then I think we'd be in massive trouble going into this Stoke game and games beyond this as well. So yeah, hopefully this can be a benchmark. These two wins in the past week, and hopefully we can kick on and try and pick up some more results. But Stoke's not going to be an easy one. They've had a great start to the season. They were in second, third place in the table a few weeks ago. They've now dropped down to seventh. They've had a little bit of a dip in form, but all teams go through ups and downs, as us Swansea fans know, um, especially this season. Um, but yeah, despite being seventh, they're still a good side. They have lost their last two against Hull and Sheffield United. Two teams who are both on very good form. But yeah, as I said, they're a very good side. And I think they will be fighting for top six, and they've got some great players, and I think they've been a bit of a dark horse. They went a bit under the radar. I think going into the season, I don't think many people really spoke about them or expected them to be where they were, but yeah, they've really impressed me, and as I said, I think they will be fighting for the playoffs come the end of the season. But yeah, as I said, it's going to be a tough game for us, but I think those two games can hopefully be a benchmark, and if we do want to avoid relegation or even being in a relegation conversation, then we do need to pick up points against these tougher teams to show that we aren't the relegation battling team. But yeah, I'm going to go on to the injury news and suspensions for both sides. So starting off with Stoke, they've got Lewis Baker out with an ankle injury. They've got Ashley Phillips out with disciplinary, and they've got Ben Pearson out with a muscle injury. So three players out missing for Stoke. As for the Swans, we don't have any injury news or suspensions or any worries like that. So we've got a fully fit squad to choose from, which is nice. Um, Going on to the key players then for both sides. So starting off with Stoke, the first player I'm going to go with is Sorba Thomas, Welsh international. I think he's been excellent this season for Stoke, and every time he pulls on the Wales shirt, he's excellent. Every time I've seen him play, and he's come into the Wales squad. He didn't really get much game time. Before I would say the last year or so, but yeah, within the last year, he's become one of Wales's key players and one of our most consistent players. So yeah, I'll go with Sorba Thomas. Second player I'm going to go with is Milion Manhoef. Another good player at this level and someone who can definitely cause us problems. And I think he's a consistent performer for Stoke. And the third player I'm going to go with is Victor Johansson. For me, one of the best keepers in the league. He's done it over a consistent basis in this division over the last 2, 3, 4 seasons. I think. As I said, yeah, he's been one of the better keepers in this division, and yeah, I think he'll be tough to score past as he always is. But yeah, that's it for the Stoke key players. As for the Swans key players, if there's any Stoke fans watching this, I think the players you need to keep an eye out for us. Firstly, I'm going to go with Marco Stamenic at the moment. He obviously got man of the match against Portsmouth on Tuesday, and then on Saturday put in an excellent performance against Oxford as well. I think had it not been for Tymond's worldie, I think Stamenic probably would have got the man of the match in that one as well. But yeah, Stamenic has been excellent, to be honest, since Martos has come in, and he's definitely a key player for us. I think he controls everything in midfield, so calm and composed on the ball. So yeah, I'll go with Marco Stamenic as my first pick. Second key player, Ethan Galbraith, such a versatile player. He started the season off in midfield and he was excellent there, and now he's been moved to right back, which he's played you know, well, equally as good, really, at right back as he is in midfield. And, it also frees up space in midfield for more of our, other attacking players to fill in there. And a third key player I'm going to go with is I'm going to go with Josh Tymon. I thought he's been excellent the last two games, and I think he's an underrated player of ours. He goes a bit under the radar sometimes, but yeah, I'm going to go with Josh Tymon. And then going on to the team lineup, I'm going to go with then. So in goals, I'll go with Lawrence Vigouroux. Right back, I'll go with Ethan Galbraith. Left back, I'll go with Josh Tymon. The two centre backs, I'm going to go with Ben Cabango and I'm going to go with Cameron Burgess. In the midfield, I'm going to go with Marko Stamenic. I'm going to go with I think I'll go with Goncalo Franco, and I'm also going to go with Liam Cullen. I think after that goal, he deserves a start. I thought it was an excellent finish, and I think players should be rewarded with starts after a good performance. I thought Melker Whittle was excellent as well, so I wouldn't mind if he started either. But I think it'd be nice to see Cullen start, and I think he deserves a start. So yeah, I'll go with Cullen. On the wings, then I'm going to go with Ronald, and I'm going to go with Omji Sung. I thought both of them impressed me, especially in the last two games. Two players who I've said a few times have had a lot of stick from our fan base at times, and I think they both had two very good performances. The both of them in the last two games. So yeah, I'll go with those. And up front, Zan Vapotnik. I think enough said with Vapotnik. Really, he's obviously our top scorer this season, and you give him a chance and he scores. So yeah, that's the lineup I'll go with. And then I'd like to see Yalkue and Anusa come on off the bench. I thought they both made an impact and contributed directly to the goals. So that's the team I'll pick. And then onto a score prediction. Then to be honest, I think we definitely take confidence from the two home wins. I think if this game was at home as well, I'd maybe back us to get all 3 points. But as I said, we will take confidence from it. But Stoke's a tough place to go, and especially when they've lost their last two games, they're going to be wanting to bounce back. To be honest, what I can see happening is Stoke City 1, Swansea City 1. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Yeah, I think. Yeah, as I said, I think if it was at home, I'd back us to get all three. But I think it's a tough place to go, and a point away at Stoke is a really good point in my opinion. So yeah, I'm going to say 1-1. I'll go with Sorba Thomas to score for Stoke, and to get the goal for the Swans, I'll go with Zan Vapotnik. But yeah, once again, a massive thanks for watching this. I will be back tomorrow with another video. Unfortunately, I won't be making the trip up to Stoke, but I'll be back with a match reaction as usual. So yeah, as I said, a massive thanks for watching this, and stay tuned for tomorrow.